Good morning, Steve here. I think we'll get right into setting up a healing field for those who are interested in just connecting to the healing field. I think it helps to have the video be a little bit on the shorter side. So maybe I'll make two videos. One for just setting up the healing field so people can connect to it, and then another one going into maybe working with some of the energetics of it. So the first thing to do is to just state out loud, I connect to my deep self. When you say that, just notice what happens, if anything. I connect to my higher self. And notice what happens when you do that. And then state, I connect to my highest self. And notice what happens when you do that. And with any of these things, notice where your attention energy goes. When you connect to your deep self, where does your attention energy go? When you connect to your higher self, where does your attention energy go? When you connect to your highest self, where does your attention energy go? And how does it change how you feel when you're connected to those three aspects of yourself? I state out loud, I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. I open myself to the healing power of the One. And I choose to let anything go that's no longer useful to me now. And if you want to wish with the work with the seventh dimensional beings, the Hathors, who work with sound and vibration to help you release things, you can state, I choose to work with the Hathors. Okay, I choose to, and now I can just say this, you can say it too if you want to. I choose to set up a healing field. I ask all the beings, helpers, and guides involved in the observational healing field to be present. And you can go through one by one. I have videos where I set up the field and go through all the beings and guides involved. And you can go watch that video. It's probably called Setting Up a Healing Field, something like that. But we ask that we be placed in a field of protection while we do this work. And I ask that all the helpers and guides that would be useful in this field, please be present within the field. And I ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be of the highest good to release and integrate at this time. And I invite all souls to return to the event, to release and integrate the energy of the event for themselves. And I ask that they be placed in a field of protection while they do their work. And upon arrival at the event, I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event, gently and easily, fully and completely, on all levels and through all space and time. Okay, for those people who wanted to just connect with the healing field, and while I set it up, then that's done. And you can just work with the energies that you discover are released from returning to this event. And so you can hit the pause button now if you want to come back and listen to what I've said later, you can do so. And also at the end of this video, there'll be the closing of the field and the bringing in of the new energies. Okay. So today I'm going to, I was trying to decide whether I want to just work with these energies myself within the healing field, or if I want some help from Arlen to work with these particular energies that seem to be up right now. And I think if it's in the highest good, because that's what Arlen does, if it's in the highest good for Arlen to work with me, I'm going to have him do that. So, if you want to just work with these energies yourself, you can just work with these energies yourself. And if you want some help in working with them, then you can just stay. And Arlen I'll be doing some work as well, but Arlen will be primarily speaking. Okay, welcome. So it's interesting to note there are certain behaviors that we have. So we've spoken with Stephen about the way to change, the way to make changes is to either release the energy of the beliefs that you carry, or release the patterns of behavior that you've established based on the beliefs you carry, or change the way you work with your experience when you hear the word boundary. Stephen gave himself a lifetime in this lifetime to experience as much as he could possibly experience and get through as much of it as he could get through. So this was very much of a classroom lifetime where he just started off right from the beginning with some overwhelming events just right away. And then later on, when he got the resources to work with those unresolved events and all the unresolved events that occurred after that one, he spent this lifetime studying how to release and integrate overwhelming events. It's overwhelming events that are unresolved, because if it wasn't overwhelming, we would have released it and integrated it at the time it occurred. So when I come into this body, I come into this body with an awareness of my consciousness, and then in relationship to this body. So when I bring you into awareness of this body, I may be bringing you into an awareness of your body, because this body and your body are responding to very similar things. Now, there are things that out of habit we're attracted to, but typically those things we're attracted to out of habit are things that either increase our awareness or decrease our awareness. So right now, typically when a healing field is set up, it has a tendency to increase our awareness. Unless the energetics that we're aware of in the world around us are causing us to draw away from them and pull in, which these energetics are currently, that's how they're affecting Stephen. He's pulling away from them. So when he did the exercise before I came in, and he stated out loud he connected to his deep self, he felt that calm and peace that arises from connecting with the deep self. And that kind of held things out a bit more. And then when he connected to his higher self and his highest self, that held things out a little bit more. And the other things he did held things out a little bit more. And that's one process that you can use to make it easier to release and integrate the energies of the event, is distance from. So when you expand your energy field out, and there's an exercise where we go 3 feet out and then 6 feet out, 12 feet out, 24, 48, and beyond 48. And that exercise is to get us a bit of space so that we're feeling these energies that we're feeling in space, as opposed to internally just there, like they're on us, affecting us. So you can feel that. That's where they're there, they're on us, they're affecting us. Our body is reacting to these energies because they're in us. So when we create some space, one of the things that can happen is these energies that feel in us can then be taken and placed outside of us. And if you notice a shift, that's because you have some space to experience these energetics. There's some training that Stephen received in a process called neuro-linguistic programming. And there were exercises that were done where a person experienced the world from their perception of self, and then they experienced the world from their perception of an other, and then they experienced the world from their perception of observer, the one who is outside of the experience observing it. And he was taught that you understand, you know, when you're in a clean observer position, when you're only, the only energies you have about what you're observing are compassion and curiosity. So you know you're in observer when you feel compassionate and curious. And what observer means is you have space from the event that you're releasing and integrating it. Oftentimes, in the process of releasing and integrating an event that feels overwhelming when you're attempting to release it and integrate it, then the further you get away from it, and you can even feel it when I just do this example. So I'm holding this event that feels too much and felt too much when it happened, and I'm holding it, and I'm holding it a bit outside the body. And then I'm saying, when you can get some distance away from it, and as soon as I start moving my hand away from it, this feels less intense. And the further I move away from it, further, the less intense this is. That's a very good way. I mean, if you can remain conscious and remember these words when you're in the experience of this intensity. Yeah, that intensity. Now you already released a lot of it. But there's another one right there. So we're just going to go, oh, how about this one? And then that one has that energy. And as you move away from it, you again feel it get less intense, less intense, less intense. And then you release it. This is a really good exercise to practice. This is releasing previous overwhelming events, releasing the energy, which is all that remains from an overwhelming event that keeps it an overwhelming event is the energy. When that energy is released from the overwhelming event, then it just becomes an event. And we want all events to just become events. Not overwhelming events, not traumas, not events that are unresolved that remain as triggers for us for the next thing to happen that triggers off those feelings. Okay, so while this energy is still here in the chest, and if you feel this energy here in the chest, and when I say here in the chest, here on the chest, it's more on the chest than in the chest. So you notice in the chest is this, that's where you had it buried. On the chest is that's where you've let it up and can feel it more now. So I'm going to hold this event that's on the chest in my left hand. And with my right hand, I'm going to go back to the event that we returned to in the healing field. And I want you to notice how that energy of the event of the healing field feels just like that energy that you're holding in your hand, or that I'm holding in my hand, and you may be doing this too, if you're practicing how to get better at this, because that's what I recommend that you practice to get better at this. When your awareness goes back to the event, and I'm going to suggest that you just go all the way back to the event and just feel that event. You don't have to stay there, but just feel it. And just feel that event and feel the event in the hand in front of you. And then take that event that you're holding in front of you, open up your crown chakra so it's wide open. Make sure, because that's what happened when you connected to the one. You opened up that crown chakra in that space. Then we're going to take this energy of the event that's in our hand, and we're going to just place it in the crown chakra. What you're doing by doing that is you're placing it in your inner space where your deep self resides in continuous peace and calm. And you would say, well, why am I not in a state of continuous and peace and calm? It's because your identity goes where it's attracted. So your identity might be attracted to, what's that sound? What's that feeling? What's that look? Why is the person looking at me this way? And you notice when you do that is you come out of deep self into outer self, guardian self. And we tend to learn to resolve things outside of our deep self. If we can learn to resolve things from inside our deep self. And what that means is bring these things into the deep self, they are resolved. You notice it doesn't take a long time. So I'm just going to go back and check, and now the event is completely clear. What I was going to do, and I'm just going to pause for a moment. So what I was going to do is I was going to take the energy of that event and bring it through the crown chakra. But that event is clear. So I'm going to ask the higher self to, we're already through the portal of time. I'm going to ask the higher self so we're going to remain where we are at this event that's clear, and we're going to have the higher self bring another event to us there that we can release and integrate the energy of. And this is useful practice. So if you notice that event and you notice all of a sudden you have this energy in your hand again, what I'm going to suggest that you do is keep your awareness on the event that we've gone back to and take the energy of this hand and put it through your crown chakra again, directly through your deep self. And then feel that energy event clear. The second one, the one that we originally went back to, and the second one that was brought to us there. It would be useful to do this one more time, so we're going to do it one more time. So we're going to ask the higher self to bring a third event that would be of our highest good to release and integrate at this time. And if your attention's in that location, through the portal of time, where your soul is, and you feel that event, then again, place that event in your hand in front of your chest. Keep your awareness on the event back here, and bring the energy of that event back through your crown chakra, right through your deep self, right into the earth, and feel that event clear once again. Okay, so now we've cleared 3 events in one session, and this is something new for Stephen, and this is something he's not done before in this way. So I asked the higher self, deep self in our soul ray group, the interdimensional being, Thoth and Ra, to assist all the souls that returned to these events and released and integrated the energy of these events to combine with that part of their soul that had remained at these events and bring that combined soul back into their body through the crown chakra in present time. And I would ask those souls to ground themselves into the healing center of the earth and open up the portal for the delivery of the new energies at this time. And I would ask that these new energies be brought in now through this portal. And part of this portal is your deep self. And these energies move right through that central space the center of the torus, where the deep self resides, in peace and calm. And I would ask that these energies that we brought into the earth now be activated again through the crown chakra, through the deep self, into the earth. And I let the universe and beyond know that this is done and that it's good. Okay, so in many ways, even though this is a healing field, like is typically set up when Stephen does a field within the world field, this is how it's set up. But this is a new exercise that was done within that process. So Stephen's asking about this tension in the upper part of the sternum, clavicle, as the bone comes across and comes into this central part. He's asking about if something can be done with this energy, and with some energy in the center of the neck. So we're going to gather those up. So we're going to gather up this energy. So we're just going to take this energy and hold it. And we're going to take this energy and add it to that. And we're going to take this energy and we're going to add it to that. And when we have those three energies, we're just going to bring them through the crown chakra. And for me, it's fun to feel that happen in a physical body, because without a physical body, it feels differently when these things happen. It changes when you're actually doing this through a physical body. Okay, so that took care of that, that took care of that, that took care of that. There's a little bit of energy in through here. So we're just going to just take hold of that energy gently, pull it out, drop it in. And so it's actually very safe to do this, because the central core, where the deep self exists, is a clear space. It does hold a vibration of peace, it does hold a vibration of calm, so that energetic is continuously there. So when we go into that place, that's what we feel. And things are released through that space. So when we bring something into this space through our crown chakra, it just goes through and it is shifted. So you can do this frequently as you like. And the more often you do it, the more it becomes a habit to just clear these energies through your crown chakra. And it's where all the new energies are also coming into the earth. So it opens up that crown. The more you connect to your higher self, the more you connect to your deep self, the more you connect to your highest self, the more you become part of that larger field of energy, the more accessible your energetics become to that field. The more you become a player. I mean, we're all players in this divine orchestra. Those of you who are paying more attention to how your instrument sounds, what sounds it can make, how well it's attuned, begin playing in an energetic match to this orchestra. And as you begin to become more of an energetic match to that orchestra, then that sound of the orchestra just flows through you. And you just become a player in the divine orchestra, or a windclill, which is the Mayan word for human being. You become a divine vibratory root system. So you can, over time or right away, so you can do this over time or just right away, you can decide to just be that and be that divine vibratory root for the cosmos to bring these new energies that are being delivered into the earth. And find yourself anytime you have those energetics, like maybe you feel some energetics, and you can just take those energetics like you're gently pulling something off of you and put it right through your crown chakra and release it. Free those energies up, because they're just stuck energies. And when they go into the central core, they're unstuck energies. And then they're functional. And then they can be used for all sorts of things. So, well done. And you can pat yourself on your back and just congratulate yourself for how well you did in this exercise. And Stephen can congratulate himself, because none of these things can be done to you. These things can be done with you. But it's through your choice to change that these things change. Not through my choice for you, because if it was through my choice for you and it was in the highest good, this would just all have changed already. I wouldn't be out of a job because there's other things I have to do. But I can do them all at the same time, essentially. Okay, for Stephen and Arlen, and now must go.